Hello, my fine feathered friends, and welcome. I want to show you my Hytale base so far. It is still a work in progress, but I figured it was about time for an update. I've been doing a lot of work on it. And so, yeah, let me get out of here so I can show you what we're doing. And this is all in survival mode, so no flying here, no endless resources, have to gather everything myself. So let's head over here to where we can get a distance view. Oh, hello. Never, just a second here while we deal with this guy. So this was one of those ruined towers, kind of like that one over there. I know every world has several of these leading to the temple portals, and I took one over to turn into my base. Now these things are solid, so I had to hollow it out in order to put anything inside of it, but that gave me plenty of blocks to work with when building onto it and adding to it. So I've been adapting that. And I've been adding on to it over here. This is what, let me show you one of the other branches. This temple complex thing has these arms that go out in multiple different directions. It's like cross-shaped, and these things exist on every Hytale world, I believe. So anyway, I'm at this end of one of these. Let me just show you an uninhabited one and what that looks like, just to show you what we started with. So you see it's got like a ruined bridge connecting it to the center temple complex, and then we just have this tower. It's the same on every side, and it is completely solid with the marble blocks. So can I get up on top of here? So you see we've got kind of a bridge here. I missed it. Anyway, kind of a bridge, kind of a ruined tower sort of vibe, but I extended in the direction of the bridge here, both at the level of the bridge and then underneath. I've added onto it down there. The main entrance is through here, and I have the start of a little... What happened to my roof there? I don't know what happened to that. Anyway, I've got a little bit of a menagerie started here. Oh, my squirrel escaped. I'm going to be making separate pens for all of them, but for now, they're all just in there. Just to kind of keep them safe-ish for now. Anyway, added some banners to this, added a little roof over the front door, and these doors I actually stole from the spawn temple location. Added some little planters and braziers I harvested, and did a little landscaping with flowers and mushrooms to add some color. And this is looking fairly empty right now because, to start with, this was my crafting and storage area, and I had everything in here, but it was getting very, very cramped. So I'm going to be changing this over to probably being like a cozy little library type of area, and I'll display some artifacts from my travels and stuff. I might have a bed on the first level here and then use the second level up for a guest room. And it's kind of, since it was so tight in here with all the crafting stations I had in here before, I decided not to put in a stairway, and so I actually put in a mushrooms instead. This would have taken me a long time to figure out on my own, but Maddie Conway and Yates, who are playing on this server with me, this is a community server for all of our communities on YouTube, the three of us together. Anyway, they figured out that these mushroom shelves, that's what these are called. Anyway, they're bouncy. They're kind of like slime blocks in Minecraft. So right now, this is a very tight little... This was the starter bedroom, or... Well, this was after our first crap shack that we made. This was the secondary place that I made, but I put beds in here for them as well. So for Maddie and Yates and my friend Zanzibar, they could all use this for respawning. And then this was my little spot. But I think I'm going to move down onto the ground floor probably and leave this as a guest room. And I also set little balcony up here to enjoy the view. and little stairs down to this, which also needs to be redecorated again. I've changed it up a bunch, but this is my little kitchen area. So I've got a chest with raw food ingredients and another one with cooked food to grab and go. Speaking of which, this can go in there. And I'll show you what this is for a little bit later. I'm going to expand some other stuff over on there. And I want to change up the roof. I want to actually add like a turret style roof to this tower, but for now it just has the roof that it originally came with, which is not really a roof. And yeah, this needs some work here because this little guy is hard to line up sometimes. There we go. But we've got a cute little table and chairs with a glowy plant on it and a nice view up here. But I think I would like to change it up to add a viewing platform up at the very top to where you can see very far away. I'll probably either add a ladder or maybe a stairway, or I might use more bouncy shrooms, not sure, but make a little viewing platform or observatory, whatever, something up there, and then add a turret roof above that, like a pointy fantasy tower looking roof. We'll see. We'll see what I can figure out to do. But anyway, yeah. And I used fancy light wood for the floor here. Wanted to change it up some so it wasn't just marble everywhere. Okay. And I'll show you that in a minute. Out here, though, this is the new workroom, where I'm also trying to deal with storage problems because Hytale does have wireless crafting. When you go to craft something, it will automatically see what's in chests that you have nearby, as long as they are within 6 blocks. So it's not a huge radius. They have to be within 6 blocks. And so that means that resources have to be kept somewhat close by to the crafting station where they will be used. So this is based on something we used to do sometimes in Ark with vaults. I put the chests down in the floor, and then that frees up also space for chests above each of the crafting stations. This one, there was space above it, so I put trapdoors there to act as a shelf. These ones, the crafting bench itself fills the 2 blocks high by 2 blocks wide, and so I couldn't do that. I don't know if normally you could put a chest in a spot like this. We do have a mod in here which makes chests kind of float, like they don't need support underneath. I'm not sure you could do that without that mod. You might have to build a shelf, so that means that the chests may have to be a little higher so they can be sitting on something. You can also put chests in between each of the crafting stations. But I do like this solution because I am a loot goblin. I like to grab everything, and this makes it so I can sort things out and have categories in different chests, and I don't have to just randomly throw things in boxes. It makes me happy being able to organize things really nicely. And this is another bouncy shroom when I figured out that you can actually set them flush with the floor, so that's handy. And here's my little magic area where I put some of the magical braziers behind them, along with some of the skull wall blocks that I also looted in my adventures. These also I looted. I didn't craft them. I didn't even know you could craft them until pretty recently. But those are the Lost Civilization braziers and the Dark Temple brazier. So that's my alchemy table and my arcanist's table. And here we have, this is a Farron torch, and somebody else on my server was confused at first because they made a Farron candle and it looked the same, but it doesn't light up. I don't know what is the difference between them other than that. The Farron torch lights up and you can place it on things. The Farron candle looks exactly the same, but is not actually a light source. I don't know exactly what is up with that. It may change. I don't know. But yeah, we got a little scroll on top of there. And this is actually 2 Farron chests that I looted, but put together so that it makes for a much larger chest for potion and magic type ingredients. Got other chests for some more ingredients. And over here, we've got my little gateway teleporter. So I really like how this is shaping up. I'm not completely finished. I think there's still some more crafting tables, so I'm leaving some space for those. And I do still want to add more storage as well so that I can sort stuff out a little bit even more. I also do have, I initially set up another crafting area down here. Woo! More bouncy shrooms. So I had this set up as a storage area, but it was just too inconvenient to keep coming down here. So I think I might use this for more like long-term type storage for special decor, or maybe I'll just use it as a secret trophy dungeon or something and put some of the cool stuff that I loot from other places down here. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, we've got that. I've got a ladder that I initially had set up before I thought of doing the bouncy shroom thing. But this is the shrooms don't bounce me high enough to actually get all the way out. So I put a little bit of ladder here just so you can bounce and grab onto the ladder. Oh, and one thing that I'm sure some people are going to be asking, I know this was the first thing my husband asked when I showed this to him. He was like, where are the colored lights coming from? What is up with that? Okay, I was having some fun experimenting with different ways of dressing up these walls because I didn't want them to just look plain and boring and flat. But at the same time, I didn't want to take up too much space with them. I wanted them to not really be thicker than 1 block thick, if you know, to allow space for crafting stations and stuff. So anyway, let me get out my pickaxe here so I can point at things better. So anyway, I've got 2 solid blocks, 2 stairs, and then I've got 2 railings. And then these are some slabs set on the back half of this block. Basically, this is the space of another block here. Every structure in Hytale takes up the space of a solid block, even if it's smaller than that. So those are set. So basically, can I get up here, please? You know, I should just take one of these apart to show you what it is. Let me just make sure it's one of the ones that's got a mushroom up there so I don't waste the crystals. I think that's yeah, that one's a mushroom. Okay, let me take this apart so I can show you how I made it, okay? Okay, so we've got our stairs here. And then over here, this is actually stairs, but this is filling in a whole block's worth of space. And then on top of the stairs are the items that are giving us a light source. Let me get some dirt blocks to make some scaffolding. Not being able to fly is a little bit of a challenge sometimes, especially when it comes to making videos. Okay, there, now we can see a little better. So let's put these in here so I can show you what we did. Okay, so we've got the stairs, and then I put the railing on top of those. And then, see, with these, I could put them, you see the other slab there is filling in that whole block of space. I can't put another one right up against it because that space is already filled, but I can put one next to it. So you just have to kind of keep that in mind, the fact that everything is actually taking up a full block, even though it doesn't look like it is. So anyway, we put that one in there, and then up here, in order to hold up this window and give us a little bit of space, because the window, it needs something to sit on and it won't just float. It needs something underneath it. And I discovered that this temple shelf works to support it like that. And then we could put the window in front of that. So that kind of hides the source of the glow, which makes it a little bit more magical. And then, let's see, on top of those stairs down there, and here, back up a little bit so you can see what we did. So see, that's stairs facing upward. I don't don't know how to explain it. There, see? So that's upside down stairs that have the mushrooms on top of them. And I'll show you the other things that I did as light sources as well. Jump! There we go. And then those mushrooms are filling in a full block of space. And so above them, we're putting another set of stairs like so. And then filling in our roof there so that the items providing the light source are completely sealed in. But what we have is the various crystals that you can make from crystal shards that you can find different places. I've got some green glowy mushrooms. I've got the crystal shards in yellow, blue, and green, and they're a different shade of green from the green mushrooms. And it appears that no matter what size they look like they are, they only fill in one block of space, because even though they stick out a little bit, they still let me put another set of stairs directly over top like this. So they still worked. And I'm not sure why, but the yellow crystal seems to give off a red glow. So I don't know if that's a bug or they'll fix that or what the deal is with that. But yeah, so that's the thing. And I added some more of these. I used a lot of these temple shelves actually as just accents, just looking for anything to just kind of add detail and prevent it from just being flat. And those are just a nice little slight overhang. I'm going to be playing around more with roofs and figuring all the different things you can do with roofs soon, but I just haven't really had a chance to play with those very much just yet. Since I have not popped into creative mode at all in this game, I have only been playing in survival because I love to build in games, but I also love to explore and go on adventures. And so I want to experience a lot of these things for the first time in game, in survival. I don't want to just find things in the creative mode toolkit and find out that they're in the game. I want to find them in an actual temple somewhere or in a dungeon somewhere, and then loot them and bring them home as trophies of my adventures. It just means more to me, you know, if you do it that way. And I know that a lot of players, most players who play games like this, prefer to play in survival, but then you also want to build something cool for your base, right? But it has to not just look cool, it has to also be practical. It has to have space for your crafting stations and your storage and everything. And so I just feel like starting out playing in survival exclusively and playing with the building in this mode helps me learn to build in a more practical way that hopefully will be more helpful to the average player of the game. And also it helps me know what it is that is needed and, you know, what items are easy to find and what items are difficult to find. You know, I don't want to go building an entire structure out of some extremely rare and difficult to find resource, and that, yeah, won't be something that most people can do. Anyway, that's kind of my building philosophy. I'm sure I'll want to build things in creative mode, much more fanciful things at some point, but to start with, we're starting more practical. We're starting practical. So I hope this has been helpful. If you've learned anything, please let me know in the comments if you have any questions or any suggestions. I'm very new to this game still as well. I'm still learning this game and there is a lot I do not know. If you have any suggestions for me, I would love to hear them. And yeah, I'm streaming Hytale on this channel about twice a week, most weeks. If you'd like to come hang out with us, I'd love to see you there. And please hit the like button. And one more thing before I forget, you can join me on this exact server if you want to. This server is open to the public at no charge. It is totally free, thanks to Nitrato, who are a partner with this channel, and they gave us this server to use. And so yeah, we've opened it up to the community, and all you have to do if you want to hop on here and play with me and Maddie Conway and Yates is just join my Discord, which is linked in the description, and in the community chat channel, just say, hey, I'm interested in Hytale, or I want to join the Hytale server, and the admins will get you the role to let you see the Hytale channels so that you can come and join us over here. If you watch to the end, please put a mushroom emoji in the comments. And yeah, we'd love to see you here. Have a good one, my friends, and bye-bye for now.
All right, let's go find some bears.
So, question. We're sending you and me, and you, I mean you, the one that almost dies the most, to kill bears, yeah?
Yep,
what we're doing?
pretty much.
That's correct, yeah.
Okay.
All right, cool. It's settled. He's mad.
He's
mad.
fast.
He's mad.
He's fast.
He's mad.
Yep,
he's
fast.
mad.
Run.